Alrighty guys, welcome back. Today is Meta Monday. We are going to be going over another deck in the standard format today, and I have chosen to do for you guys the Inteleon VMAX. I know it's October and it's spooky season, and here I am with another not spooky deck. But I promise we'll get to some spooky stuff before October is over. It might just have to be in live stream since October is over on Sunday. But I hope you guys had a safe and wonderful weekend. I had a fantastic time streaming on Saturday. We did some pumpkin carving. I hope you guys were able to check that out. But let's get into some PTCGO. I haven't played in a couple days, and I'm ready to get back into it. But the deck that we're going over today, like I said, is Inteleon VMAX. So our main attackers, we run a 3-3 line of Inteleon V and Inteleon VMAX. I don't run a 4-4 line because I don't have 4 Inteleon VMAXs, and I'm trying out the 3-3 with the addition of the Keldeo-GX as an attacker. The ability that Keldeo has prevents GX Pokemon and EX Pokemon from being able to attack it. However, if you're up against like the Moist Mewtwo deck, the Rocket Splash Mewtwo that also runs Keldeo in the Blastoise, this Keldeo can be damaged by Mewtwo if Mewtwo is using Sonic Edge, because it says this attack's damage is not affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon, and that ability is an effect. So he can still be hit with it for 110 damage by that Mewtwo, but there's not a lot else that goes through it. Our main concern would be like a Boltund that has, you know, energy spread out all over the bench with the GXs, because those can kick up a lot of damage. We do have kind of something in our favor with that, is Keldeo is actually weak to grass and not lightning type Pokemon. So there's that. For our energy acceleration, we of course are going to run a Snom Frosmoth line. I run a 3-2, which I know a lot of people run more, but like I said in the last video, this is a deck list that works well for me. What works for me might not always work for you guys, and what works for you guys might not always work for me. This is kind of a junky, weird deck list, but I just wanted to share it with you guys because it seems to do super well for me. We have 1 copy of Crobat and 1 copy of Dedenne just to help churn through the deck to get what we need. We also play 1 copy of the Headbutt Tantrum Zigzagoon to kind of accelerate those bench snipes. Maybe it'll help us get a knockout a little bit early. So with that, we do also run the 4 copies of Scoop Up Net. In case we run into something like an Altaria or even a Decidueye, we run the 1 copy of the Suicune. So we have that in our back pocket to save for a rainy day, because 130 damage, that's quite a lot, and it is enough to really, really put the hurt in on a Decidueye. Then we run 2 copies of Capacious Bucket, which will allow us to search through our deck for 2 water energy cards. Super useful, because that is the majority of what we need here for both of our main attackers. 2 Energy Retrieval, that's just in case we have very little things in our hand. Maybe our Stadium card, which allows us to normally get energy out of the discard, has been pushed aside, and now we have a Chaotic Swell, so we don't have a way to get our Stadium card in there. That's just kind of a super solid way to bring energy back if you've lost a Pokemon, and in a hurry get your energy reattached with the Frosmoth. 2 copies of Evolution Incense. This can look for either Inteleon VMAX or Frosmoth. Pokémon Communication can look for anything. We only run 16 Pokemon in the deck, so running Pokémon Communication is kind of strange for me, because I have a tendency to never get Pokemon if I don't have at least 20 in my deck when I have a Pokemon Communications. But that's why I'm only running 2, because if I were to run like 4, I'd get all of them in one hand. The 4 Quick Ball is pretty self-explanatory. We got to get all of our guys out on the bench, and this is also super helpful for getting out our Pokemon to churn through the deck and hopefully get some good cards into our hand. Then we run 2 copies of Switch, because I cannot be without Switch cards. I've tried running this deck with only Air Balloons, and it just is not, it's not the best thing for me. Our Stadium card, we run Training Court, which allows us to take a basic energy card from our discard pile and put it into our hand. 3 copies of Boss's Orders, 3 copies of Marnie, and 4 Professor's Research. Pretty self-explanatory. I do not run Eldegoss. I do not run Mewtwo from Unbroken Bonds. So once our supporters are gone, they are gone. We cannot get them back. So we will use them wisely. And then, as always, Air Balloon. This deck has to have Air Balloon. Super good for getting Frosmoth out of the active after you've attached your energy to your benched water-type Pokemon, so you can get them into the active and battle. Just a real quick explanation in case you guys don't know. Frosmoth's ability, Ice Dance, will allow you to attach as many energy as you like from your hand to your benched water-type Pokemon. Frosmoth can be active or on the bench to use its ability, but the Pokemon you attach to has to be on the bench. So that's why the Air Balloon comes in handy very, very often in combination with the Switch. I know a lot of people that run this deck without Switches, and that just makes me so nervous, because how the heck are you going to get it out of the active? But let's see how this deck plays through on the Versus ladder. All right, let's see who we get paired up with. There was a lot of decks that I wanted to go over with you guys, but I decided on using Inteleon VMAX for today because I haven't seen a whole lot of videos come up recently for Inteleon. I'm seeing a whole lot of like Centiskorch, a lot of different iterations of that, which is another deck that I wanted to cover, specifically Ability Centiskorch. But there was just a lot of it out there right now. The Rocket Splash Mewtwo is always a very popular deck. There's always just a ton of things that people can do with Mewtwo because of its ability. So I figured, let's do Inteleon, because I don't think a lot of people are thinking about him right now. And while I am not a super huge fan of Inteleon in the actual Sword and Shield game, I really do like him for the PTCGO or the in-person card game. It's, I think, a fantabulous Pokemon. The ability to remove energy from your Pokemon, or opponent's Pokemon, snipe the bench, then pairing it with a Frosmoth, I think is just super cool. It looks like we might be up against Eternatus, but I'm not sure. I don't know a whole lot of other decks that play Absol anymore, just because of VMAX Pokemon being so commonly played in the meta, and really in, I guess, even non-meta decks. A lot of people are playing evolved Pokemon, so Absol's ability no longer adds that extra retreat cost for Pokemon that aren't basic. So it seems a little silly to me, but I'm sure that they know what they're doing. So we were right. This is going to be an Eternatus deck. Capture Energy. So this is actually a super good matchup for Inteleon because of Keldeo's GX attack. It will do 50 damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So a well-timed Resolute Blade GX can be very crippling to an Eternatus deck, because if they've got a bench fully loaded, you are then taking 400 damage, which no Pokemon can withstand. I don't even think that a Centiskorch with 4 of the special fire energy can withstand that. Maybe. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. Alright, so getting to go first against Eternatus will probably work in our favor. I'm not too sure if they have that that dark energy in their hand. Looks like they do. And they have a VMAX. We just saw them pull that out. Okay, so what we want to do is get rid of the little Suicune here, and I'm going to grab Dedenne. Look through the deck and see what we've got. One of our Inteleons is prized. One of our Snoms is prized. Alright, one Evolution Incense prized. A Quick Ball. No, I used a Quick Ball. Scoop Up Net. One Stadium card. And it looks like 1 energy. 1 or 2 energy. So that's what we're going to grab there. I'm going to go ahead and use that Capacious Bucket to kind of thin out my deck just the littlest bit. We're going to toss all those away because we can get rid of that Prism Star energy card pretty easily. That was lucky. And now we do still have Professor's Research, which is super cool. So we can still utilize another discard without adding Crobat to the bench. I just would like to prevent having too many super easy knockouts for my opponent here. A lot of people run like 2 copies of Dedenne, 1 copy of Crobat, or 2 copies of Crobat, 1 Dedenne, because while you can't use 2 of each per turn, you can use 1 and the other. So it can really help you look through your deck. But I'm hoping I can get something good off the research. Maybe we should Crobat. See, this is where I go wrong. I overthink it. I'm not sure. What can it hurt, right? It can hurt a lot. I don't know. Decisions. I'm bad at making them. So we're just going to go ahead and Crobat, even though that goes against everything that I just said, because quite frankly, I am a baby, and I do not want I do not want to like barely miss out on a switch or something, because that's usually how it happens. We will go ahead and put that last, well, I guess not last. Put that Inteleon on the bench, attach the water energy. Now this, I do run a lot of water energy in my deck. For an Inteleon deck, 12 is a lot. But the reason I do that is so I can switch back and forth between them if needed, and also with a Keldeo. Having 12 energy in the deck, I should have no issue having all 3 Pokemon fully loaded at a moment's notice, basically. As you can see, we're turn 2 and we already have 6 energy out on the board. So now we'll go ahead and switch our VMAX into play and see what our best options are here. We will max bullet onto the Eternatus V, both of them, so 160 damage to the active and 60 damage to the bench. Quite a chunk of damage. Alright. Now, I don't know if they're going to evolve the active Eternatus, since they're damaged quite a lot. If I had more bench space, even if they evolved, the 160 that I could deal plus using the Zigzagoon would be a knockout on the Eternatus VMAX. But because I don't have any bench space, I can't really use Zigzagoon to his fullest extent, because I would have to scoop up the Frosmoth. Alright, so he's going to go ahead and evolve that and hope that I don't have what I need to knock him out, I guess. So he has 180 HP left, right? Let's see. We run 4 Scoop Up Nets total. Did we say 1 was prized? So we only have 1 more in the deck. We have to get the 1 Scoop Up in order to get a knockout on the VMAX. But at the same time, we don't really want to scoop up the Frosmoth because we want to get those 3 energies onto Keldeo. And I know that that's going to be probably one of the first Pokemon they target with the boss's orders, because it can be so detrimental to their deck with dealing 50 damage for each benched Pokemon. So let's see what they do here. I've never run an Eternatus deck with Black Market Prism Star. I'm not too sure how I feel about it. Prism Stars are just so easy to get rid of, and that's why they kind of scare me, because like them, they put it out and it never did anything to help them or their hand. So we'll go ahead and pull an energy back. We'll attach here to Keldeo. Debate. I'm not sure if this version of the deck runs Crushing Hammers, but we shall see. We will go ahead and just Marnie, and I know that helps them a little bit, but I don't want to Professor's Research away that Zigzagoon. So this is good. Here's what we're going to do. We will Quick Ball away a Water Energy. We will grab ourselves basically anything, because I just want to use Pokemon Communication. Because I want to get that other VMAX out and ready, so I'm not in deep trouble when the next turn comes. Take that to VMAX. Go ahead and evolve. And attach here. Now the only thing I'm concerned about is he going to allow me to knock him out before he gets another VMAX on the bench? Because if he allows me to knock out this active Eternatus VMAX, he has to discard until he has only 5 Pokemon remaining on his bench. So he can then discard any Pokemon that I've dealt damage to. But I think it's worth a shot, considering we will not get a knockout on this turn. We can always boss up the Eternatus down here, and then do like a little switcheroo and max bullet this guy for the 160, and then this Eternatus for the 60. But it looks like they are going to go ahead and fill their bench a little bit more. Probably going to look through the deck to try to get that Eternatus VMAX so they can continue attacking and not have to worry about the damage counters. We're super, super close. 2 Eternatus VMAXs is really all we need, and because we have so much damage spread out on the board, I think we stand a pretty good chance at winning right now, considering all the Pokemon we have ready to go. Alright, so they'll take the first 3 prize cards, and we'll move our Inteleon VMAX into the active. So, you only require 3 energy, so I'm going to snatch that right up and just attach there. Then I'm going to take this guy and max bullet just like that. And we'll take our first 3 prize cards. Hopefully we'll find our Scoop Up Net. If they try to pull that Eternatus VMAX back, we can knock it out with the 60 damage from max bullet, or we can just wait till the next turn. I think we're in a pretty good spot right here. The reason that I love Dragapult is kind of the same reason that I love Inteleon, because the spreading of damage can be so detrimental to your plans. For an Eternatus VMAX deck, I feel like you would need 3 fully loaded, ready to go VMAXs to be able to like switch in and out to feel safe with a deck like this that can deal so much damage to your bench every single turn. Coming in with a headbutt tantrum. They did use Power Plant, so that doesn't really do much to us. I'm curious to see if they're going to try to boss up the Keldeo, which I don't know why they would really, because at this point I would think they're wanting to get rid of they're wanting to get the Eternatus out of the active and try to save it, but unless they have a way to heal it, they cannot save it, since max bullet will do the 60 damage to the bench. And I think they're realizing that now. I am pretty jealous of that Rainbow Eternatus though. It is really pretty. Still a card that we have yet to pull from Darkness Ablaze. I'm losing my mind here. Don't even remember the name of the set. Looks like they're thinking. I take a long time to think too. It's okay. I am super glad though that we got to go up against Eternatus, but I am a little disappointed that we're not going to be able to use our GX move, because he's gonna... That was weird. I was not expecting that at all. So he's gonna Power Accelerator onto maybe, or not. No damage. We won't do damage. That's fine. Alright. I don't really need to attach energy to the Crobat, but I'm going to anyways. Unfortunately, he can't retreat because it now costs more for him to retreat because of the Absol. So how many energy do we have in discard? 3. So 3, 6, 9, 10. Don't really need to put any out on anybody. But I'm not going to need any more of my evolution Pokemon, so I'm just going to go ahead and discard the Frosmoth within the deck a little bit. Hopefully find that second switch or maybe an Air Balloon so I can get good old boy out of the active. There we go. There's the switch out and game. GG's to my opponent. Eternatus is an absolutely fantastic deck. I love Eternatus. But unfortunately, this is one of the downfalls of Eternatus. You got so much going on that it's hard to it's hard to change your game plan when your main attacker is just the one Pokemon. You really don't have any pivot points, and that's one of the reasons that I like the new Pikarom deck so much, because you have so many different directions you can go. If, let's say, it wouldn't be a good idea for you to use the Pikachu and Zekrom, you've then got Boltund or Vikavolt, you've got Raichu, Alolan Raichu, so many different things. And I think Inteleon works in kind of the same way, with having the 2 main attackers, and also you can attack with the Suicune, and it puts energy back into your hand after you attack. So even if it gets knocked out, you then have a chance to reload up one of your Pokemon after that. Alright, let's see if game number 2 can go as smoothly as game number 1. Okay. Inteleon, don't let me down. Okay, we've got a normal and grass type box. Wonder what that is. Maybe Decidueye, maybe Decidueye Altaria. Equip Boa. Okay, mulligan. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see what our opponent's opening hand looks like. Did we get to go first? I didn't even notice. Who's going first? They're going first. Not a terrible thing for us. Unfortunately, it does mean that we're not going to get Frosmoth on turn 2, but that's perfectly fine. We had to take 2 whole mulligans? Dang. Bunnelby. Is this a mill deck? Isn't there a Diggersby card in standard format that is utilized for mills? Very confused. Jirachi. Cool. Alright. Kind of a bummer that we're also starting with boss's orders. Oh, okay. So Keldeo-GX is not going to be what we want to see for this game. This little Wimpod is going to evolve into Golisopod, and the Golisopod does 30 plus 50 times the number of V and GXs that your opponent has on their bench. So, yeah. That's not going to be good for us. What we're going to do now is that guy. I'm going to take me a little Snom. I should have looked through my deck there, but I'm getting rushy for absolutely no reason. Doesn't hurt to put energy in the discard, considering all the retrieval options that we have. Looks like no Snoms are prized. 1 VMAX is prized. 1 Switch is prized. 1 Boss's Order is prized. 1 Professor's Research. And like 1 energy or so. Yeah, 1 energy. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and grab Dedenne-GX. Yeah. Because we need to be looking through the deck. So that's what we shall take. Just gonna take some of these. Because we do have our 2 energy retrievals. So it makes it a little bit easier to get rid of energy. Oh, the Switch is not prized. It's right here. Oh no, the Switch. I'm going to Dedenne away the boss's orders. I don't have any way to knock out either of these guys. So boss's orders would be just like a waste of a supporter right now. Alright, we can get another Inteleon and another Snom. Should we get another Snom? I feel like Snom's going to be targeted. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put another Snom on the bench. And then if they don't knock out one of the Snoms, we then have Scoop Up Net. We Scoop Up Net the Snom, Pokemon Communication for Frosmoth, grab the Frosmoth, Professor Research, look for our Inteleon VMAX. Sound good? Sounds good. Alright, we'll Snipe Shot. I guess it doesn't really matter who we Snipe Shot because they can just scoop them up. But quite frankly, I'm a little more concerned about that Wimpod because right now that's 180 damage onto my Inteleon. If he attacks with Golisopod. Good thing these little watery boys aren't weak to the grassy boys. Alright, and there he goes with Chaotic Swell. So now we need to be careful with the amount of energy we do discard because we are going to rely solely on our energy retrievals. Since we only have 2 stadium cards, I'm assuming they run more than that. I think it's going to be our best bet to try to get our stadium card into play, but not count on it ever sticking. So we've got a lot going on here. Let's see what this Diggersby is. Discard up to 6 cards from the top of your deck. If you do this, this attack does 30 damage for each card you discarded. So up to 180 damage, but it requires probably a triple acceleration energy. I don't see them using Welder. Looks like Tool Scrapper, that's fine. We're not super worried about that. They did not take the bait on the Snom, so we'll go ahead and scoop that little puppy up. Put him right back in there. Take our Frosmoth, or should we take our VMAX? Who knows? I might regret my decision, but that's okay. Okay. Put Frosmoth there. Go ahead and attach the energy there to Inteleon V. Hopefully we'll find a VMAX, and no luck there. Unfortunate. But here's what we can do. Dig through here, and we grab our 2 water energies. we can go ahead and Aurora Beam them onto our little Inteleon down here. So that's good looking. Now we don't really need to worry about having the Inteleon. They did discard their Tool Scrapper already, but I want to hold on to my Air Balloon for a little bit in case I need to attach it to somebody else more. So we're going to go ahead and Snipe Shot. There's no real point in going for this Golisopod again, just because we will knock him out with one hit. So we're just going to go ahead and put that damage down there onto the Wimpod, because the 60 from a max bullet is more than enough to take him out, unless he does get to evolve this turn. So we shall see. I've never actually seen this deck. I've seen a lot of iterations of the Golisopod, usually run with things like the Aerodactyl that does 180 damage as long as you don't have any benched GX Pokemon. I've seen it run with Obstagoon, all kinds of crazy stuff. Golisopod is an incredibly useful Pokemon, especially in the meta now when people are putting so many of these 2 and 3 prize card Pokemon on their bench. So looks like he's going to go ahead. He had to use a triple acceleration, which kind of sucks for him. This deck probably only runs 8 energy, 4 twin, and 4 triple excels. So having to use a triple excel on a Pokemon that doesn't require it, kind of sucky. But we will see how it pans out. Unfortunately, I'm not too sure. Ooh, okay, that's bad. Here we go. We got 2 more. I think they were hoping to get Vs, though, with the Mawile. Vs or GXs. Luckily, we still do have 3 Scoop Up Nets. They didn't even put them on the bench because it's not beneficial to them. So that's kind of good for us. Now, that confuses me. Why not go ahead and start putting damage counters on the Inteleon? Because it will eventually evolve, and then it's going to be a lot harder to knock out. Because I do not plan on putting Crobat down. I don't plan on putting Keldeo down, especially because it's weak to grass. I just don't think that would be a smart decision on my part. Okay. So it's now or never for the Air Balloon. I don't think we're going to need another Snom Frosmoth. So we're just going to stick this guy here and Professor's Research away all of that junk. Okay, we got a VMAX here. We got another VMAX here. They have already used the Mawile. You can't scoop up a Mawile. Super Scoop Up is not in standard format anymore. So we're safe from that ability again, unless they have another one, which would be kind of crazy. But maybe I shouldn't have evolved, because now he's going to take 3 prize cards, which is kind of stinky. But we shall see. So who do we want to deal damage to? I think I'll just go ahead and put it on Pokemon that are literally impossible to scoop up net. I still have Zigzagoon in the deck. Still have my little Scoop Up Nets. So if I can get 2 damage counters onto the Crobat, then he will be within one-shottable range for the Inteleon. So 5 prize cards left. I think my targets need to be Crobat, Mawile, and just probably Jirachi. I could actually Headbutt Tantrum onto the Jirachi, and then boss up something else to knock out that Jirachi. We want to get rid of Jirachi because it's what's helping him look through his deck for stuff. Another very unfortunate triple excel, but he will take 3 prize cards, so how unfortunate is it really? We will see how well this our Inteleon deck holds up. Okay. Hoping for a boss's orders. Don't want to have to use Crobat. Really don't. I really want to scoop up the Frosmoth because it's such an easy 1 prizer for them. So I would like to scoop up the Frosmoth and have it not be on the bench. Just going to throw an extra energy onto you. You are weak to grass. We cannot use you. They scooped up the Jirachi. It's like they can hear me. They didn't put it back down. Confusing. So I'm assuming if they didn't put it back down, they have an evolution and an energy in their hand. Huh. So we're gonna get rid of that guy. One of the boss's orders is prize. We had to discard the other one. I forgot. So we can take 2 this turn. So I think that's our best option right now. We'll take 2 prizes and then we'll Marnie. Or we'll Marnie and then we'll take the 2 prizes. So put the damage counter there. Give a little Marnie action. We did get a Scoop Up Net. Cool. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to scoop... Actually, we should probably scoop up something else, right? Who knows? Because now how many do we have? We have 2. We're okay. A 1 prizer is a 1 prizer. We're going to take that. Because if we take one and not the other, and then it... Come on, KANTO. Use your brain. Alright, so then we're just going to max bullet. Onto the little Wimpod over there. Not putting any more Vs or GXs on the bench is going to decrease the firepower for that Golisopod. We did get a boss's orders, guys. Okay, so let's see. We gotta look. We have 3 prize cards left to take. We have Zigzagoon in hand. I think we win. Because they can't evolve this guy on the turn, and I don't think they can knock me out. If they somehow can, I'm going to be very sad. But in order to win, I'm just going to boss's order up the Mawile. Put 1 damage counter on the Wimpod with Zigzagoon's Headbutt Tantrum. Oh my lord. They have another Mawile. It's not enough though. It's still not enough. Oh, they took my Zigzagoon. Alright, we still have a shot. We just have to top deck a what's it called? A Scoop Up Net. Which we have 2 of, but we only have 12 cards left in the deck. And I can't remember if we said we prized one, because small brain energy. What do we have here? And I don't have another VMAX, do I? Is it prized? Because the biggest thing is, if I can get VMAX going here with energy, he's going to be a lot harder to knock out. He's not going to be so gustable. It's the Dedenne that I'm worried about. We shall see. The suspense is killing me. I still think Boss Mawile is the best option. Maybe I should have Training Courted on the last turn, so I had an opportunity to maybe find the other one this turn, so I can grab another energy out of the discard. Okay, so actually that's not too bad. Gonna put that there. Gonna put that there. So what's our win condition here? We need to take 3 prize cards. Unfortunately, I can't really take all 3 this turn. And for some reason, I'm worried that they're going to be able to knock out the Inteleon. But I think our best bet right now is Mawile. We'll do 160 there. And I guess we can put the 60 anywhere, because benchable knockout, just with the 1 Scoop Up Net needed. Now, I don't know if they're giving the well played, because they know they have a knockout. They can take the 3 prize cards, but I hope not. So that's going to deal 180, right? Oh my goodness, 3 cards in deck. I can see how, I mean, he hasn't used Diggerby's attack at all, has he? Man, that's scary. Because you can really burn through your deck that way. Up to 6 cards. He plays, oh, 2 Mawwiles, I'm sorry. I thought there were 3. Oh, Giovanni's Exile. I was just talking about how I had never seen anybody play that. So he did throw us the well played because we won. Wow! 2 more games went super well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Inteleon VMAX deck. I really like this deck. I've gotten super lucky with recording these videos. I've never had to do more than just the 2 games because I wanted to show at least 2 to show different decks that you can go up against and kind of how to combat each thing. That could have been like a very, very bad arrangement, especially if we had like started with only a Keldeo since they are weak to grass. But I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate it. In the description below, you'll find links to my Instagram, TikTok, merch store, Patreon, all that stuff. Deck list for this Inteleon deck will also be down in the description below. I know it's hard for people to try to follow along as I'm talking and clicking through the deck. So the deck list will always be down there in the description box below. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this deck, if you've tried it, if it works for you, if you have an Inteleon deck that maybe is run the different way. But I hope you guys have a safe and wonderful start to your week, and we'll see you next time.